Match coverage defense is elite in Madden 25, but the pros have been hiding a secret to running this defense all year long. And in today's video, I'm going to expose it. So today, I'm going to teach you how you can create your own custom combo match coverage defenses on the fly. What this means is that you can come out in defenses that aren't even match coverages, such as cover 3 or cover 4 zone, and you can choose to turn it into a match coverage defense whenever you want. What's even more interesting is that you can choose which side of the field to play match and which side of the field to play zone, which then allows you to create custom match defenses that are combo coverages. For instance, one side of the field you could have in match, the other side you could have in cover 2. You could also even put the other side of the field in match and keep the other side in cover 3 or cover 4 zone. This creates endless possibilities on defense, and this is the most well-kept secret in the game. I'm about to expose it to you guys. The best part is, what I'm about to show you can be done from any defensive playbook in the entire game, but for the purpose of this video, I did pick the Patriots playbook on defense. Now, when we talk about match coverage, most people think of match as like cover 4 match, cover 4 quarters or palms, or even cover 3 match. But the truth is, what actually makes match coverage is the flat zones, not the specific play. So for instance here, in cover 4 match, we have quarter flats. The quarter flats are the key to cover 4 match. If we go to cover 3 match, you can see we have seam flats. The seam flats are the key to cover 3 match. So you're seeing with match coverages, the flat zones are either going to be seam flats or quarter flats. Whereas if we go to like a cover 4 or just regular zone, you get curl flats, which are not matching. And then even in a cover 3 zone, you again have curl flats, which once again are not matching. Now, if we go back to cover 4 match, you're going to see that the quarter flats are what's key to actually make the match coverage activate on this play. Because we have quarter flats, everybody's matching the 4 verticals. However, if we were to get rid of the quarter flats simply by shading our coverage underneath or just taking them off the field one way or the other, match is completely gone. You no longer get match, you get a zone, essentially a cover 4 zone. So what this means is the flat zones are the absolute key to match coverage, and we can use them to turn match on and off. So let's go back to our cover 4 zone drop defense and teach you guys how you can create custom match coverage combo defenses, show you how to do match on the left, the right, both sides from any coverage you want. Before we do that, if you want more content like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop me a like and comment on the video. So in cover 4 zone drop, again, you have curl flats. If we want to make this match, we have to get rid of them. So let's first say we want match coverage only on the left side of the field. What are we going to do? Well, I need to put that left slot corner into a matching flat zone. How can I do that? Well, I need to get him into a seam flat. I cannot get him into a quarter flat, but I can a seam flat. And remember, a seam flat is a matching flat zone. So the easiest way to do this is just hit triangle, triangle, or YY, that slot corner's icon, and then seam flat is up on the left stick. I want you guys to watch what happens here. Not only is that seam flat going to match, but the deep zone on the left, basically the left side of the field is now matched, but the right side will be zone drop. So let's just take a look here. And you can see everybody on that left matches, but yet on the right side, we still have zone. So let's key in on the left side of the field here. You can see these defenders are matching not only the seam flat, but the deep zone as well. However, over here on the right, nobody's matching. Our flat and our deep zone are just dropping back as if they're in the standard zone drop defense. Now let's take this a step further. What if we want to have match on the left, zone on the right, but we also want to shade our zones? Maybe I want hard flats. Well, you can shade your coverage underneath to get the hard flats, and then you can put the left slot corner in a seam flat. Now we have a combo zone match defense with shading principles in the zone. So let's just take a look at this. You guys can see we get the hard flat, but we still get the matching on the left. Now, this is really nice because you can apply it against all sorts of different offensive formations. We first showed it against trips. Now we're in spread. We're going to look at 4 verticals. So let's say here that we want to use matching on the right side of the screen. Well, once again, if we want to match on only the right side of the screen, what I need to do is put that flat zone on the right into a matching zone, which again is the seam flat. So I'm going to hit triangle, triangle, YY, triangle, triangle, or YY, the defender's icon, then up on the left stick to put him in a seam flat. And you will see on the right side of the screen, we do get the matching, but not on the left. We chuck that 4 verticals, and we get picked. Now, maybe we want matching on both sides of the field. To do this, all you would do is put both of the slot corners in seam flats, and now basically the whole defense will be matching on both sides. Once I show you this, guys, I need to show you the difference if you press your coverage or don't press your coverage, because there's a lot of unique things you can do with press coverage that you can't do with off coverage. So make sure you stay tuned, because in a second, we're going to do a deep dive in the difference between press coverage and off coverage match. But as you guys can see here, when we get both seam flats out there, both sides of the field are matching. There's nowhere to go. So now I want to talk about the difference in if you press your coverage and if you don't press your coverage with matching principles. So let's go ahead and press our coverage, because there's actually some very interesting, unique things we can do here. If you're looking to become a better Madden 25 player and win more games, check out sportsgamers.com. This is where I post all my premium content. You get all my offensive and defensive schemes, ebooks, weekly tips, blitzes, money plays, bombs, and more. I have all the best content available at the cheapest prices available anywhere. Sign up today for as little as $9.95. Click the link in the description. I also pinned it in the comments. Let's win more games and dominate together, boys. So first of all, now that our coverage is pressed, if we turn on the matching principles on either side of the field or both, you're going to notice something. So I'm going to turn the matching principles on the left side of the field by putting that slot corner in the seam flat. So we're going to have matching on the left, zone drop on the right. Now, we'll run the same forward verticals play, and watch the difference here. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but did you just see how the outside left corner just pressed the receiver into the dirt? So take a look here. When you press your coverage in match, your corner will actually press. And this is not a man press animation that has a chance to get whooped. Match zones that press much better. We press them into the dirt and get a pick. Now over here on the right side of the field, we did not have match on, so we got no press animation, and honestly, this would have been an easier throw because there was no press to disrupt the route. So if you want to have both outside receivers pressed, simply press your match coverage and get 2 seam flats on the field, and you will notice that you will get both of these corners in press animations. Now that is not the only difference. Match coverage plays differently, pressed versus off coverage, depending upon the route combo. And what I mean by this is these outside deep zones, when you're in match, they will match vertical routes such as streaks. However, they won't match underneath routes. So say that I noticed the defense was playing match but in off coverage. Well, I know that they only will match these outside receivers going vertical, so I can run my outside receiver on a drag route, and you'll see he will not get matched, and that's just an easy throw. So how can I counter this defensively? Well, it's quite simple. If I notice that the offense is sending receivers underneath to beat my match coverage when I'm not pressed, if I press my match coverage, they are now going to match those outside receivers no matter what. Even on a route going underneath, such as a drag, you will see that corner will get the press, he will match him, and that's just simply not open. Match coverage is truly elite when you know how to use it, guys. You can use it to take away almost any concept in the game. Now, there are certain ways to bomb it, but there's even counters for that as well. And if you want more info on this, check out sportsgamers.com. I'm out.